In today's episode, I'm going to be checking out the new Line 6 Catalyst. This amp sits in at $400. This is the 100-watt version. They make a 60-watt, which are both 112s, and a 200-watt 212. Obviously, an attempt to take over the market back from the Katana guys, but more importantly, kind of looks more like the Flextone series of amps to me, which is an amp series I really liked from Line 6. And although I've always liked the Spider stuff for what it was, I really like more of a traditional looking combo amplifier. The other thing I'm interested in, and I think that they're banking on too, is that I'm not interested in 500 different sounds. I'm looking for 2 and maybe 3 sounds. So this amplifier has a total of 6 sounds in it, so it's about just picking 2 or 3 that you like, I'm sure, and going with it. They have a clean, boutique, chime, crunch, dynamic, and high gain. Very straightforward. There is no variations of those amp sounds. In other words, there is an A and B sound. There's just pick one and go. You can buy an optional 2-button foot switch that lets you switch between 2 channels, whichever ones you pick, and of course, effects on and off. You can also connect the amp via USB into your computer and use Line 6's editing software to assign the foot switch to be on-off for the boost, a tuner mute, or a tap tempo switch. There is built-in effects. However, something to keep in mind is you can only run reverb and one other effect. So it would be reverb and pitch effects, reverb and modulations like choruses and flangers, or reverb and delays. That's fine for me. I'd only run reverb and delays. I very rarely run the other effects. And again, like I said, if I would just get pedals. There is an effects loop built into the amp and a DI out that sounds fantastic. Another cool option is a switch that allows you to take the effects loop and turn it into a power amp in. That way you can take whichever modeler or profiler you're using and just use this to amplify it without coloring the sounds of your models or profiles. Now for today's video, I'm going to be using an SM57 on the amp and a room mic, and I'm going to be blending them to give you the most accurate sound of how I feel it sounds in the room with me. However, a couple days ago or a week ago, I did a demo of a ERT guitar. And if you watch that video, I am using the DI out. Today I'm running into the Line 6 Catalyst. I'm running it direct. So let's start with the clean sound. I'm on my single coil neck pickup right now. One thing I like about this boost control on this one is yeah, it adds a little breakup, but it gives you that kind of that feeling of a little bit of a tube dynamic. Really nice, and especially if we go to the humbucker on the neck. Now it adds that sustain. Now we're pushing the amp with that boost. Let's go ahead and turn the dial to the boutique setting. This is my favorite setting on the amplifier. I'm gonna go with a little bit of delay. Go ahead and turn that. Again, that could be foot switchable. It's really nice. This is where I think this amp shines over a bunch of amps on the market, is this boutique sound. Of course, when they say boutique, you're supposed to kind of imagine some kind of like 2-rock, some kind of Tone King. What's nice too, let me get rid of that delay. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff. Turn some knobs a little bit. lower bass. It's pretty crazy. Okay, a little mid boost here. And again, if you notice, I left the boost on because I really like the boutique with the gain a little down and the boosted. So here's the boutique without the boost. Now, speaking of the boutique sound, I want to do a comparison against my 2-rock amplifier. I'm going to use this Silver Sky, play a little stuff through the Catalyst, and then play a little stuff through the 2-rock, and then I'll tell you how it feels in the room. All right, here we go. I don't know what's going to translate in the video, but what I can tell you in the room is I thought the Catalyst was a little brighter in the room, a little fuller, believe it or not. It had a little bit more kind of filling up the room kind of sound with a little bit more high top end sparkle, where the 2-rock just had more of a punch, probably from the, obviously the tubes, and kind of more of just a little bit of sponginess when I was interacting with the guitar. However, very impressive considering the price differences. That's why I wanted to share this with you. It's like a $300 to a $3,000 price difference in amplifiers. I have to say the Catalyst definitely held its own, in my opinion, not comparatively for the price points, obviously for the price points, but I mean just tone-wise, it was, you know, it was very pleasant. And the next setting is Chime. Of course, I think they're going after the Vox sound with this. Crunch. Let's turn the boost off, go to the crunch. Now we have the dynamic. So last we're going to have the high gain setting. I want to go back to the boutique setting and show you how well the guitar cleans up with the volume knob. Very responsive. It comes with this little card on the top of it, and one side is all the amp features, and then of course you flip it over and it's all the effect features. And again, like I said, it has multiple different types of delays that you can select: tape echo, dynamic, dual delays, simple delays, vintage delays, analog delays, modulations, of course, flanger, U-vibe, rotary, chorus, tremolo, phaser, pitch controls, lots of those octave fuzz, whole step, synth string, stuff like that. And then of course the reverbs, you have a bunch of reverbs. You have plate, my favorite, shimmer, modulated, spring, hall, and chamber. And I also like spring and hall as well, but plate, then probably spring, then hall are the ones I use the most. It has a tap tempo feature, so you can do that. And if you want a deep dive, you can do all kinds of stuff. In fact, if you want more than just how much reverb you want, what reverb you want, you can actually get into the software, or you can plug this amp into your computer and access all kinds of additional features when it comes to the effects and the amplifier itself. The other thing that's easy is you can set all this stuff up and save it, and there's also a manual mode, so if you just want things to be what you see them as and not do any kind of weird stuff, if you're really a traditional kind of like, this is how I want my amp to sound, it can be as traditional as possible. The other thing I want to point out is, since we didn't talk about it, there's a power attenuation on the back of the amp that allows you to switch between full power, half a watt, and then mute if you want to do late night playing or just direct record. So, should you sell your Boss Katana and get a new catalyst? Well, a couple things I want to point out. First of all, a lot of you know I've owned both the 50 watt and the 100 watt Boss Katanas, and I did like them. I just didn't love them. Although I thought they were great pedal platforms, very affordable and very durable, I just wasn't really getting into a lot of the overdrive tones. I don't use the metal settings very much, and I really wanted the blues and rock genre of tones, and I always felt those were the most lacking in the Boss. Where in the Catalyst, I feel like that's what it really, really excels at. It really nails the creamy kind of boutique, if you have to say that word, tones and the rock and blues genre really, really well. And the metal and high gain sounds, I thought they were almost comparable. Again, those are just my opinions, but if I hadn't already sold my Boss Katana, yes, I would sell my Boss Katana and get the Catalyst. And that's something to also point out. Line 6 and Boss are not in the tube game, they're in the technology game. And Line 6 has been able to leverage the technology of the Helix into a very affordable amplifier. You've heard me say many times on this channel that some of the best sounding videos I've done is with the Helix. So it makes sense the amp would appeal to me more, and I would definitely say that. If you're into the Helix sounds, you'll definitely like this amp. As always, guys, I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today, checking out the amplifier with me, and until the next time, know your gear.